The whole topic of values is something that you hear people toss about so much these days, and what are your most important values, and being value-based and value-driven and so forth and so on. The reality is that most people don't really understand values. They think that valuing family, for example, is a true value, okay? And before you kill me, give me a second. Let me explain myself. I learned about values for the first time back in, well, I learned how to really work with my values, let's say, for the first time back in 1990. I knew about values before, and, you know, having the right values, you know, because they talk about here in this country a lot about having the right values in your life and so forth. And in 1990, I went to a seminar with Tony Robbins called Date with Destiny. And that was when he was still doing them at his house. I mean, this was at the Del Mar Castle in Del Mar, California, limited to 35 people. So we did the seminar in his living room. He had brought in 35 chairs, and that's where we did it. And this whole thing was about guiding your life on purpose, and he talked about values being the compass that guides your life. And I mean, this was revolutionary to me because, you know, I mean, when I thought about the values and having the right values and family values and Christian values and so forth and so on, you know, it was all about, you know, putting God first and, you know, family second, country third, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I mean, he started explaining to us that there was different types of values, that there was ends values and means values. And ends values was what you really wanted, and means values was things that you valued that would take you to that end value that you really, really wanted. Okay? So it turns out that values really are emotional states that you desire to feel on a continual basis, or that you want to avoid on a continual basis, because there's desired values and avoid values. So, as you start trying to figure out what your values are, because based on your values, you will make decisions a certain way. You will behave and act and decide based upon what you value, and not just on what you value, but a hierarchy of values, because there's a hierarchy, there's an order of importance to those values. And so as I went through all these exercises and learned all this, it was just phenomenal. And I've kept studying the topic over the course of the past 20 years. And this is a life changer. I mean, this is a massive, massive, massive life changer. That's why changing the mindset, right? The whole mindset, your state of consciousness, which is beliefs, and this is one of the giant sets of beliefs, is values, right? It'll transform your life. And so the ends values are emotional states that you desire to feel on a continual basis. So when you say, I value family, right? Well, the question is, well, what does family give you? What does family make you feel? Because family is a means value, okay? So what does family make you feel? Well, so you may say, well, it makes me feel loved, it makes me feel security, it makes me feel connectedness, it makes me feel oneness, it makes me feel joy, it makes me feel happy, okay? All of those are ends values. They're the emotional state that you want to feel. You want to feel secure, you want to feel loved, you want to feel joy, you want to feel happiness, you want to feel all those emotional states. That's what family gives you. So the ends values are those emotional states, okay? Some people say, well, I value money, I value success. Well, success is an ends value, but money is not. How could money not be an ends value? Well, what does money give you? How does it make you feel? Oh, yeah, okay, well, it makes me feel powerful, and makes me feel secure, and it makes me feel, like I can contribute, like I can make a difference. Yes, those are the ends values that money can get you. So it's important to understand our values, the ends values that we truly want to experience on an ongoing basis, and the ones that we don't want to experience: hate, anger, remorse, resentment, jealousy, etc., etc., etc. So it's important to understand the ones we want, the ones we don't want, and it's important to put them, you know, in order of importance in our lives, okay? Because based upon that, we make our decisions, okay? And I don't know if you've ever been, and I'm sure, you know, I mean, if you're a human being, you've been in a position to self-sabotage yourself, right? And psychologists call that being psychologically reversed. And we, in our program, we teach how to overcome that psychological reversal and how to end self-sabotage once and for all. And values has a lot to do with it, because, you know, when your values are not clear, when you're confused in your values, then you will tend to self-sabotage. And by the way, you know, just like beliefs, you don't have to keep the values or the hierarchies or the rules that you have right now, because they were conditioned in you. I mean, why do you value what you value? I mean, you were conditioned just like the beliefs. This is an area of mindset. So you were conditioned, we were all conditioned, you know, in our early childhood, and so you know, and that carried on throughout our life. So we've got this mumbo jumbo of confusing beliefs, confused values, and they're taking our life somewhere automatically, right, that we don't want to go, right? And so how do you change it to automatically go where you do want to go? Well, you got to work with all the mindset, all the issues on the different beliefs. So in values, you know, primarily, you've got to determine what it is that you value and the hierarchy. Now, here's the problem that happens with people sometimes. Let's say somebody has success as one of their values, as one of their desired values, and they have security as one of their desired values. Okay, let's say that they're, you know, 1 and 2. Well, in order to have success, do you have to take any risk? Yeah, I mean, it's pretty hard to have a really high level of success if you don't take risk, right? People who are security conscious, security minded, typically don't take risk, right? I mean, they typically are the kind of people that you know, want a job, a salary, you know, that type of thing, right? Where it becomes really clear, let's use an even clearer example, somebody who wants freedom and security, and freedom's their number 1 and security's their number 2, or vice versa. You know, you're going to self-sabotage all the time, because as you start getting your freedom or getting your success or whatever, you know, all of a sudden you freak out because you're way out there, you're too far out there, you're taking risks, and security-minded people don't take risks. So all of a sudden that conflict comes about and self-sabotage.